Murder. Gay murder. Hello everybody. Hi, good morning. How are you? Or evening whenever you're watching this. I hope you're okay. Let's talk about murder books. So lately I've been getting obsessed with a certain author and they are freaking amazing and I have to talk to you about them. They're super freaking famous, especially because of one certain book that everyone has heard of and everyone has read, and I only read it recently because I'm like not like the other girls, so like I wait until the hype is over and then I'm gonna read a book. Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoken by author Larocca. A book that has been hyped up a lot on TikTok, on BookTok, everywhere. Like where there are bookworms, there are these books. There is this book where there are bookworms. Every reader has been hyping this book up, and I didn't avoid it per se. Honestly, I did not avoid it. It was just like something that didn't happen. That's all. It was just something that did not come my way. That phrase, I know it's right, but it sounds so weird. It sounds so sus. I don't like it. But a few weeks ago, I just got the book and I read it and I was bam-fucking-boozled. I was in love, in awe. I was awed. I was shooketh. I was shocked. And then of course I had to get another book and then another book. And I finished the third book just now and I need to talk to someone about it. Like I couldn't wait because I will get other books by the same author. So I'm like getting obsessed or whatever. I won't dive in each story. I'm just here to share my obsession because your girl's getting crazy. But talk about the author as a whole. The author as a whole. Wow, this is a Frank Reynolds moment. Talk about the author as a whole. Talk about the author as a whole and their writing as a whole, and oh my god, not the writing is whore. Oh my god. Not to dive into the books individually and to talk about the stories individually, but to discuss the author as a whole and the writing as a whole and their just style of writing and the wording that they use, because I am obsessed. I imagine my arms hardening into branches, my hair exploding with tiny emerald buds, until I am a beloved secret tucked away in some distant field, a birthplace for small birds and insects, a hollowed sanctuary for the weak and the afflicted. This is a quote that stuck with me absolutely. The trees grew because I bled there, and it was so relatable and it filled me with a feeling that it's indescribable. Like I cannot fucking describe how it made me feel just reading that quote. And so many times I read things by the author whenever I'm reading their books, and I have to read it again and again and again because it makes me feel so many things and it makes me so overwhelmed. It's just the fact that someone, a stranger, a complete stranger to you, someone you've never met, you don't know, someone who is so far away, like on a different continent than you, kilometers and kilometers away from you, can write something that describes how you feel exactly. That's just like a magical moment that I have not felt in such a long time, and it overwhelmed me. The writing is detailed in a way that I've never seen before. And I don't just mean details of like a certain object or a certain subject or a certain person, not like physical details, just detailed in metaphors and symbolism in a way that I have not seen before, especially done like this, in a way that is gruesome as fuck, but still beautiful in a way that you don't even think about how gruesome and grotesque it is. You just think about how beautiful the writing is and how beautiful and smart and witty the symbolism is, and the goddamn metaphors. They may not be for everyone. I've seen so many bad reviews for books, not just the author's books, this author's books, but for books in general, where people don't like the metaphors as much. Like once is fine, two is fine, three is fine, whatever, but then they don't like them over and over again. This author gives off a lot of metaphors. I've noticed when I've read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoken, and then I've read You've Lost a Lot of Blood, which is incredible, and then I've read The Trees Grew Because I Bled There, which it's my favorite so far. It's a collection of different stories, and each story I loved more than the last. My least favorite was the first one because I was confused as shit, but then I read more, and then the third story, the fourth story, the fifth story, and I was in awe. It's so freaking addictive, it's so intriguing, it's so thrilling, and it's done in the most unique way. He keeps using metaphors in such a, like, an amazing way. They can describe something so bloody, so grotesque, so gory as cutting off your own limbs and giving them to someone as a gift, a show of love and a show of affection, and then describe that as branches of trees and emeralds and shit like that, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm in love, but like, holy shit, that's disgusting. Like, it's so witty and so poetic. You might not like the metaphors because there's a lot of them, but you cannot deny how good they are. Like, they're pretentious as shit, but you can't deny how good they are. I've been reading something and then I have to read it over and over and over and over again because I cannot fathom how a person could describe something in such a not normal way. That it also makes sense though. Like, it was smart as fuck. And creative. Like, this is like a class on creative writing. It's helped me so much. I personally write my own shit. I've never shared them with anyone and never will share them with anyone. They're just my thoughts at 3 in the morning. Pretentious as shit and cringy as shitballs. However, it prompted me to write more. It's like it's making me creative, like to write about my pains and distress and misery in such a creative way. It's a way of writing that makes me personally wish I could write like this. It's dark as shit. It's dark as Bigfoot's asshole. It's dark as shit. It's dark. However, it's dark in a dark, academic, macabre, aesthetically pleasing to the brain kind of dark because of how poetic it is. It's not just like gore or horror porn or pain porn or whatever, or trauma porn, or just gore on gore on gore just to shock the person. It's still really poetic, and it never does something without giving you a message at the end or meaning something. It, like, every story that I've read so far means something or has something to offer you more than the gore, which is something that I love so much. Like, they're literally talking about ingesting a tapeworm, eating rotten meat, literally eating rotten meat with like worms and shit in it because it's been left out forever outside, like to get rotten, okay, and to start decomposing, and cutting off each other's limbs for pleasure. It's talking about the most like darkest shit, but it's so good to the point where it's like pleasurable to read. It's like sensual to my brain. It's like brain porn, like, let's be honest here. It's so fucking poetic. The inclusion of queer characters, it's so good. It includes queer characters in a way that doesn't really revolve around their queerness, around their story. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just there, and it's kind of heartwarming to see. And it intertwines the two things in a unique way. Every story that I've read so far is very rich in what it gives you word-wise. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just like titillating to the brain. It's brain porn. It deals with the most subversive, darkest, hidden parts of a person's psyche. And it does it in a thrilling, amazing, intriguing way. I've also noticed with the author that they create a lot of mini stories and small stories intertwined within the main stories, and I am addicted to that. I'm not gonna lie. And it's so impressive to me because I found that it offers so much. The main story on its own is really good, and then they have a character telling another story and it's real good. And then there's a story inside a story, and it's just, it all is like so intriguing. It's very grotesque, but in a captivating way. The characters are very easily hateable, but also charismatic, and also very pretentious, and also you want to slap them, but still intriguing enough to make you want to finish the book. The writing is really easy to captivate you, to grab you, to make you want to know what the heck is happening. I was like hesitant starting the first book by the author because of the hype, man. The hype like ruins shit for me. But this is definitely one author that for me personally deserves all the hype that they get. They're very unique. Like, the more I read, the more I can tell who's unique and who's not, and it's a writer that I haven't really seen a lot, if any, cliches with, but it's like so freaking like unique and so rare. There you go. Like, seldom that I just read and not find any cliche and I'm just like enjoying the story. Even in the books that I end up giving 5 stars to and I enjoy them so much, there is a lot of cliches in them. Still, so many books that I've read this year and I loved so much. So many cliches, so many cringy, pretentious moments. This though, although pretentious, still unique. This was a weird video. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think I've ever just sat to talk about an author. So thank you if you watched. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next video.